All right, welcome in everyone. I'm so excited for this conversation today, whether you're here live with me, hi, or on the replay. I'm so excited to get into this because we are going to be talking about one of my all-time favorite conversations, and that is manifestation, the quantum field, like all of that good stuff. And this is going to be a masterclass that is unlike anything I've ever done before, even though I have done quite a few masterclasses on manifestation. Of course, we're always growing, we're always getting better, we're always learning more, discovering more about ourselves and also about the world, right? So this is like, my gosh, this is just something I'm like really obsessed with right now. And actually, Kelty, I just sent you a video, a YouTube video, right before jumping in here, because quantum physics is like, it's not a new philosophy, but I think that it's becoming more well known, right? Versus the Newtonian physics that we've been taught in school. Okay, so anywho, let's get into it. Welcome in, welcome in. I want you, if you are live with me, if you can, get loud in the chat. Okay, if you are driving, please don't, please don't. Okay, and then those of you that are on the replay with me, like, treat this as if you are here live with me. Okay, you can write things down, like anything that comes up for you, anything that like lands for you, write it down. Like, get loud in your own version of the chat. Okay. Because the more you get involved with this conversation, the more you're going to get out of it. Okay. So let's get into the conversation today. I want you to, wherever you're at, I want you to take a second to close your eyes. Unless you're driving, do not close your eyes. Take a deep breath in and exhale, and then claim your intention. What is your intention? Why did you come to a masterclass called Supercharged? What are you claiming? Why are you here? What are you calling in? Claim it. Okay, claim it boldly. If you want to write it in the chat or write it down on your paper, like, what are you calling in? What are you claiming? And then I want you to see that or feel that. And I want you to ask yourself, can I go even bigger? Can I go even bigger? Can I go even bigger? And I'm pretty sure you definitely can. All right, this is our roadmap for the next 2 days together. You can expect to be challenged. Maybe you'll have some new emotions come up. I'm here to move you, right? I'm here to help you to remember your truth. So you might not necessarily straight away agree with everything that I say, and that's okay. Okay, what I'm saying is potentially things that, like I said, will move you, will help you to question your reality, will help you to just like release the old information that maybe you have been believing is true. And so I want you to listen to any resistance that comes up. I want you to just become aware of it and become curious, because this is how growth happens. It's through changing. It's through challenging our perception, challenging our beliefs, our program, and then consciously making the choice. This is actually not my reality anymore because I don't want to live that way. That is no longer my truth. Okay, so I want you to lean in and I want you to follow it. And then I want you to realize that it's an opportunity to grow and to change and to expand. And then tomorrow, I have a very special invitation for you. So I'm not going to tell you what it is. Some of you might have some ideas, especially if you took part in my birthday party that was not too long ago. You know parts of it, okay? But I have something special that I have not shared publicly at all, and it has to do with manifestation, okay? And it also, yeah, anyway, I'm just going to leave it at that. So you got to come to the call tomorrow to learn about it. It is really special. And those of you that are here registered with me, you will have a bonus. There will be a bonus opportunity for you as well. All right. And then because you've registered, you get a 30-minute bonus call with me. So all you need to do is be here live with me or on the replay, and of course, be registered for the class. All right, so you will get that link. It'll be on the replay page. There's also a workbook for this masterclass. So you can grab that from the replay page as well. And what it is basically opportunities to go deeper into this material and deeper into your own perceptions. So to ask yourself some more questions, there's lots of journal prompts in there that will help you to integrate this information and also, like I said, go deeper. All right. Now that that's out of the way, are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready to become supercharged to your dreams and desires? Are you ready to become insanely crystal clear on your direction so that you can manifest, so that you can call in new experiences that you are actually calling in from the quantum field? Okay, so let's talk a little bit about quantum field and manifestation and what it actually is. Okay, again, I mentioned before that I am always learning. And pardon? Yeah. I'm always learning and growing, and I'm always becoming more and more aware. And so right now, this is what I have been learning and I have been studying. And I just want to share from my own personal beliefs and experiences because, I mean, a lot of you know my story, but I'm going to teach and share from that lens. And for me, I feel that actually I know that teaching through the lens of embodiment is so much more powerful, but it's not the only way. For example, if I have not been through a situation that you are currently manifesting, that does not mean that I can't support you in manifesting that situation, that experience. Because as we're going to talk about in a little bit here, it's the same formula. Okay, Bob Proctor used to say, tell me what you want and I'll show you how to get it. And I firmly believe that's possible. Like it's the same formula no matter what you want. The formula is the same. Okay, so whether or not I've walked through it myself or not, I can show you how to get what you want. And we're going to talk about that today on the masterclass. All right, are you excited? And tomorrow, actually, too. So the quantum field and manifestation. So I like this graphic that it shows kind of like one depiction of what the quantum field is. You can see it is almost like this infinite web of vibrating possibilities. So there's so many different images of the quantum field. I'm not sure if anyone actually knows, but this is what has been received through people's fourth dimension, right? This is what we know to be the quantum field is this is one of the iterations. Okay, so in essence, this is an energetic fabric of reality. So it's scientifically proven, yes, but it's also spirit, soul, and source all in one. So in quantum physics, it refers to the invisible, like ocean of energy that exists all around us. Okay, beneath and beyond what we can see, it's where particles and time bend. It's where all potential exists before it comes into form. So I want you to think of that. Okay, we've heard before, and I've even talked about this a lot, of like everything already exists. Some books will tell you, creation is finished. Creation is already done. Everything already exists. Everything that you could ever desire already exists. You just need to become a match to it. Okay, but um, I'm looking at my notes. But the thing is it's not about getting what you want. It's about collapsing the version of reality where you already have it. Okay, think about that. So it's not about getting what you want. It's not about changing the outside world. It's about embodying the internal signal that pulls the reality that you do want to you. So all of it already exists in the quantum field. Okay, the field is waiting for your signal. It's waiting for your intention, but it's not just an intention. Okay, we've been taught that we need to like force it, that we need to work harder, that we need to like hustle. And it's not actually that. Even with manifestation, we've been talking a little bit on the podcast about forced manifestation versus surrendered manifestation. And so this is really, really relevant because most people, when they are manifesting intentionally, or so they think intentionally, okay, they are focused on getting something. And what ends up happening is they end up forcing and pushing harder, right? Because the human mind, the human experience doesn't like it's so weird, but it's like we can't deal with it when things are really easy. Think about that for a second. Like we can't, when something's really easy, we're like, something must be wrong. Have you ever said that to yourself? So it's like, oh, this feels really good. And then like right away, there's a thought of like something's off. Like we must, like this is too good to be true. Have you ever heard that? Like, have you ever heard that in your head? This is too good to be true. Or what did I do to deserve this? Okay, it's like we're conditioned to believe. I just had another one come, but it's like um life is a struggle. That's another belief that potentially we've been told. Life is not all rainbows and butterflies. Who are you to believe blah, 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 blah. We have all this information that is like coded into our experience that is driving and depicting and determining what is happening. And so it's not just like manifesting and like, okay, this is my intention and like I'm calling it in. There's so much more than that. Okay. So, um, the quantum field, we think that it responds. Okay, so this is something I hear all the time. A lot of I hear like, um, oh well, I I'm not good at this, or I'm wavering, or I'm questioning myself, or I find that I just take on other people's energy and I get pulled down. It's not that you need to be happy all the time. It's not that you need to be a high vibration all the time. Okay, the quantum field is always listening, but it listens to the whole game. Okay. It's not responding to you're feeling in any given moment. Okay. It's not just responding to that. It's not responding to like having a bad day, for example. Like some people, when they get into manifestation, will start to say things like, oh my gosh, I like, they're like watching their thoughts, and they become obsessive. And then once you have a bad thought, they freak out because they're like, oh no, it's going to manifest. But luckily, that doesn't happen, right? It's not, doesn't work like that. So the quantum field responds to your coherence, thoughts, feelings, and emotions together. But it's not just your surface level thoughts and emotions that it responds to. We know this. We've been talking about this for a long time. So it actually responds to those deeper, that unconscious, that subconscious beliefs. Think about that for a second. So it's not that um, I'm just thinking a thought and it's going to manifest. It's what is actually beyond that thought. What is in the core, the depths of my being? Okay, so for example, if you're manifesting from the mind, okay, you're manifesting in a forced way. If you're trying to figure it out, piece it together, that's forced manifestation. Even in some experience examples, I guess, when we're manifesting in a controlled way, we're still manifesting from the mind and it's still forced. Okay, so if you're trying to control your emotions and you're trying to not think bad thoughts, you're forcing the manifestation. It doesn't work. Okay, maybe it works for some people, maybe it'll happen over time. Okay, but the truth is that we need to feel. Feeling is a secret. We've known this, right? It's a living practice. It's feeling. So if we are, for example, manifesting love, okay, if we're manifesting health, if we're manifesting um, like success, money, right? So I was just listening to this video that I shared with Kelty, but he was talking about this, and I thought it was really beautiful. Like if you're manifesting love, we need to practice vulnerability. We need to be the safe space that we would are calling in from somebody else. Do you see that? It's like deeper than just I'm manifesting love and I'm gonna like write a list of like 50 traits that my like ideal partner has, and I'm just gonna visualize them and I'm gonna feel into them. No, there's gotta be more. There's gotta be this outward expression as well, this like practice of embodiment. So it's not necessarily like just loving yourself. It's literally going out, being vulnerable, being the safe space, right? Opening your heart, getting uncomfortable, doing those things. Okay, health. Um, Health is like more present with your body, more respectful with your body. You're moving your body with intention, all from a space of respecting your body. It's not just like I'm manifesting health and like trying not to think bad thoughts about my body or like about illness or disease or anything like that. It's not like the absence of those thoughts. It is the actual presence and embodiment of doing the things in a new way from a space of respecting yourself and your body. Okay. It's so interesting. So manifestation's not about feeling good all the time. It's about holding space for all the emotions without drowning in them. You will wobble, you will doubt yourself, and that's okay, but it's how you come back. That is what matters. All right. So this is the quantum field. Let me just talk a little bit more about what it is. So it's like it's an like I said, an ocean of infinite possibility. It's where your intentions, your energy, your frequency meet the like formless and give it shape. Okay, it doesn't respond to what you want. It responds to who you're being at your core and your core unconscious, subconscious beliefs. So when you align your thoughts, emotions, and embodiment with this future reality that you know in your soul is on your path, you're not trying to make it happen. You're not forcing. You're collapsing timelines and calling it in from the field through choosing that and through practicing that. Okay, so it's not fake it till you make it. You're not hustling in the 3D. You're dancing. I see it as like this dance, right? This play with the divine blueprint in the fifth dimension. Does that make sense? Is that landing? Okay. So it's so cool. There's so many different like depictions of this. There's so much information around the quantum field. I just see it as just like this beautiful thing that honestly we've been interacting with our whole life. Every time we call in a new experience, we feel a deep like intuitive pull. Um, this is that, right? Have you ever experienced a coincidence where you're like, oh my gosh, like what are you doing here? You run into somebody or somebody messages you right after you thought of them. A coincidence in some way, shape, or form, okay? That it's like, I mean, I always say like, I don't believe in coincidences. It's all happening in divine timing. Like it's all a setup. And so this this is that as well. It's not coincidental. It's not coincidental that you're here. There's something from this class. There's something from this experience that is for you today. And so everything is a setup. And when we can see it that way, that we don't need to try to force, we don't need to try to fix anything, and we don't need to be someone that we're not. We can really truly embrace, like, wow, I am the creator. I get to choose what happens next. So this quantum field is not outside of you. It is in you as well. It's who you are. Okay. Yeah, it's so interesting. So let's move on to, in my opinion, the 5 things. We're going to be breaking these down over the next 2 days together because this is what is required from us when we are manifesting in partnership with the quantum field, but also when we are becoming supercharged. So, supercharged, in my opinion, is just like in complete, cohesive alignment with the wish fulfilled, with the version of us that we've been becoming, with the manifestation of our desire, of our dream. Okay, so becoming supercharged, when we can exist in a way that is supercharged, this is like magnetic. This is how we don't, I mean, we don't even have to try. What if, what if, what if you didn't have to try? What if you didn't have to try so hard at life and business, at love, relationships? What if you didn't have to try? What if you could just be? So we're going to move out of that forcing right now. And hopefully, what I shared about the quantum field helped you to see that, forcing is actually resistance. It's actually fear. It's actually this like um, distrust, the opposite of faith. What is that? I think there's a word for that. But it's that. It's like scared. It's scarcity. It's fear. All right. So when we can lean into the knowing that, oh my gosh, it's all in divine timing, it's already happening, and this is on my path, this is on my timeline, and this is what I'm calling in. Now we can ask ourselves, okay, what do I believe is standing in my way? What's behind it? What's between it? Okay, so the first step in becoming supercharged and calling this and attracting this beautiful experience in is deciding what it is you want. Okay, because if you don't know what you want, if you don't know where you're going, you are not going to be calling in much of anything. So, number one is deciding. Okay, if you don't know where you're going, what you're going to attract is a bunch of un undecided situations. Okay, so deciding, I always say like decision making is the first, like it's the only prerequisite to changing your results. And so many people will, it's actually astonishing how many people um suck at making decisions. Okay. And I actually put a poll on my Instagram yesterday asking my audience, who is really good at decision making. And I was kind of like surprised at how many people said they are. But I'm like, but are you really though? Are you really good at decision making? Like if you were let's I mean, if you were really, really leaning into like the infinite, like, are you really actually making a decision, or are you just accepting your life as it is right now because you believe that that's the only option? Okay. So first one is making the decision. And then we need to trust ourselves, trust in the divine unfolding, trust in the quantum field, trust that it's on our timeline and it is inevitably ours. It's already happening. And then we need to take new action. So trusting ourselves is the prerequisite to taking new action, because if we don't trust ourselves, we're not going to be able to receive the information to know which action to take. So trusting yourself, trusting your intuition, trusting your internal guidance system, trusting in the divine unfolding, like I said, and seeing the synchronicities around you happen and the coincidences that are not coincidences. And then we're going to take new action in a new way because we're going to connect in with a version of us we've never been before. And then you expand, we expand, because so many people will tell you and teach you to just push through. Okay, trust me when I say that women in business, visionary entrepreneurial women in business, does not work to just continue to push through and continue to brush it under the carpet, continue to tell yourself everything's fine, I got this, I am confident, I can do this, I'm worthy, like all of this is happening. Okay, when we have resistance in our body, when our nervous system feels unsafe, no matter how many times we tell ourselves, I'm confident, I'm good at sales, I'm a millionaire, it will not ever become your reality because you have essentially built a brick wall around yourself. Okay, you're not open to receive it because you are contracted, because there's resistance. So that's where my expand tapping method comes in. We're going to do some tapping tomorrow to remove resistance, to remove any blocks or limitations. And this is not just a one and done, it's a consistent daily practice. It is not just, okay, I choose this and that's it. It's, I choose this again and again and again, and I listen. That's what this morning's podcast episode was. And we did some tapping on the podcast, by the way. Um, it was a vulnerable share this morning. But so that's the name of the game, right? Um, and and so where was I? I lost my train of thought. We must expand, and we must face the resistance. We cannot just shove it under the rug. We cannot just pretend it doesn't exist. We cannot just forget dad's voice inside of our head, right? We need to free it from our body. And that's where so many teachers and leaders, that's the piece so many people leave out. Okay, and that is a big piece of becoming supercharged, because remember that the quantum field is not just responding to our surface emotions. It is responding to our deep rooted beliefs. So if we are telling ourselves, okay, I've decided, I'm trusting myself, I'm taking new action, right? I'm taking new action in a new way, and it's fucking scary, but you're going to do it anyway, and that's it. And you're going to force yourself to get out there and do it, even though you feel like an imposter, even though you hear these voices in your head that are telling you that you aren't good enough, that nobody's listening, that, you have no clue what you're talking about. Like it's detrimental. So we must clear that information from your body, from your field. And that's what we're going to do today and tomorrow. Okay. And then we have to be able to hold it. So we have to have the ability to hold it, the nervous system to hold it, and the awareness to hold it. There's going to be contrast. There's going to be things that show up. There's going to be contrast and resistance. There's going to be all sorts of voices in our head, but it's up to us to notice it and to do something about it. Okay, there's no forcing. It doesn't need to be hard. It doesn't need to take a lot of effort or be even stressful or overwhelming. It's about awareness. It's about ease and flow and surrender. That is quantum manifestation. Surrender. It gets to be easy. Oh my gosh, how good would it be if it was easy? How would it feel if it was easy for you to manifest your desires, for your business to just blow up in such a beautiful way? How good would it feel if you were to manifest your ideal, your dream partner, your life partner with ease, with flow, without effort? Okay, how good would that feel? That's what we're talking about. Leaning into that, because that is really where we become supercharged, is the effortless way. Okay, so first of all, let's go deeper into decision making, the only prerequisite to changing your results. This is actually something that I'm really good at, and it's something that I've learned. Decision making is a skill that we are not taught. And so I love talking about it because not many people are actually really good decision makers. And so, yeah, okay, there's a couple different ways to like look at this. Are you good at deciding what you want for dinner? If someone says, "Hey, let's go out for dinner, what would you like?" Are you someone who's like, "Oh, I don't know, you choose," right? Or are you someone who's like, "I want sushi." Like fucking A, I want sushi, right? Or when it comes to decision making, though, do you realize, and here's the big thing, do you realize that you get to make a decision? Just like I said before, are you living your life in a way that it's kind of like the vibe is like, I don't have any other choice. Okay, because the realization is this, like I said, you get to choose. So these are the types of decisions that we're talking about. We're not just talking about like making like, turn left or turn right kind of decisions. No, it's like, am I accepting this reality, this relationship, this life that I've created? Am I continuing to accept it as truth, as the only way? Or am I going to be brave enough to make a new decision? And the decision is the only prerequisite to changing your results, remember. So if you have been doing life or business or love a certain way up until now, this is your invitation to take a look at it and ask yourself, is this really serving me? Is this really what I want? Because I see so many people that are just okay with their current results. They're like, oh, well, it's not that bad. Or, it's I've got more than most people. I'm like, if it is not your dream, there is something wrong and you get to change it. Okay. If it doesn't, like, and I mean, some people will say that's selfish, that's greedy, that's too much, that's old information. Because we are here, our soul is always for expansion and fuller expression. We are here to live our best life, but we've been taught that we can't. We've been taught to sacrifice. We've been taught to play it down. We've been taught to be quiet. We've been taught to, what's the word? Like be okay. And I don't know the word. It's like we've been taught that we're like, we just need to toughen up. It's fine. You're fine. You have enough, you know? And so I want to remind you again that you get to decide. If your life is not ideal in some way, shape, or form, you have the business, but you don't have the relationship, or you have the relationship, but you don't have the money. I want to remind you that you get to have it all. There doesn't need to be compromise. That was the word I was looking for. There doesn't need to be compromise. There doesn't need to be sacrifice. Think about that. And so when it comes to decision making, I want you to look at your current reality, your current results. And I want you to ask yourself, is this really what I want? Is this really my life here right now? And if it's not, what would I love to change? Okay, one of the integration questions in the workbook is something along the lines of like, if I had a magic wand and I could upgrade any part of my life, what part of my life would that be? I want you to think of that right now, because that is real. That is an option for you. And the fact that you're thinking of it means it's on your path. It's an opportunity for you. It's available. And all you need to do is decide. That is the first step. That is the only prerequisite to changing your results. You need to decide. Okay, if it's not this, what is it then? And I'm pretty sure you know, right? We often know straight away, intuitively. That's where the second piece comes in. Trust. We must trust in that guidance. Do not decide on something and then you receive the guidance and then you kind of like brush it off. You're like, nope, too risky, too scary, too uncomfortable. What would they think? Oh my God, I'm going to be judged. I'm already like looking like a lunatic over here. You need to trust yourself. Because if you don't trust yourself, you're not going to receive the guidance. You're not going to know what to do next. You will intuitively receive the first step, the next step right away. You make a decision. I can pretty much guarantee that right now when we were talking about decision making, you have the idea, okay, this part of my life I'd like to upgrade. Therefore, I'm going to decide. I'm going to decide that that's what's happening. And I'm going to take different action. I'm going to decide and I'm going to get into action. And then right there, that piece of trusting yourself shows up because you receive, okay, then that means I need to do this. And right away, you can feel the contraction potentially of your nervous system saying, ooh, this feels stretchy. Ooh, this feels scary. This feels risky. Okay. This is where the tapping comes in. This is where the ability to perceive differently comes in. Okay, because we must be able to trust ourselves and trust in the divine unfolding, in the manifestation process. All right. So after we have made a decision, after we have the understanding of the necessity that we need to trust ourselves, right? Then we take new action. Okay, but taking new action is going to be scary. It's going to be uncomfortable. So that is where we need to regulate the nervous system. We need to expand the nervous system and we need to be able to hold it. Okay, so taking new action is going to create new results. We're not going to continue to freeze the moment we get uncomfortable. We're not going to continue to postpone In what way are you postponing your dream? If you're saying and continuing to say to yourself, well, this is good. This is pretty good. I'm like living my dream, but that but is what we're talking about here. Because you, through not addressing the but and not deciding differently, are continuing to give your power away to the but. And we're not going to do that anymore because we are becoming supercharged to our dreams and desires. We are becoming master manifestors in partnership with the quantum field. All right. So we need to take new action in a new empowered way, in a new identity, with the new identity. All right. And so that's what we're going to learn about right now. That's what we're going to discover right now. Who do you need to be to take that new action? What is that new action? Who do you need to be to call that in from the quantum field, to quantum leap your life? Who do you need to be? Okay. So I'm going to lead you through a manifestation visualization, a quantum visualization. So if you are in a safe place to do so, I want you to close your eyes. I'm going to take this audio, by the way, of the manifestation, and I'm going to add some music to it, and then I'll put it on the replay page so that you can come back and you can listen to the recording again of just the manifestation, the quantum visualization if you feel called to. Okay, so I want you to close your eyes. As long as you're in a safe place to do so, do not do this while you're driving. Take a deep breath in through your nose, sit a little taller, and slowly exhale through the straw. And then again in through the nose. And exhale. Notice how you're feeling after listening to this conversation on quantum physics, on manifestation, on becoming supercharged. Take another inhale. And exhale. How are you feeling in this exact moment right now? Not just a surface level feeling, but like a deep rooted feeling. An unconscious, a subconscious feeling. How are you feeling right now? And then how do you feel when it comes to changing your results? Changing that but, that thing that you maybe have been avoiding and accepting for a very long time. How does it feel when you think of changing that result? Does it feel scary? Does it feel risky? Does it feel expansive and exciting and uplifting and magical? How does it feel? Okay, and I want you to take another breath here. And in your mind's eye, next time you take an inhale and an exhale, I want you to float up and out of your physical body, and I want you to be looking down at where you left your body of right now. Remembering that you are safe, you are guided. I got you. Take a breath as you are watching yourself from above, noticing how peaceful and how gentle and relaxed your body looks. Take another breath here. And as you exhale, we're going to begin to float gently, carefully, excitedly through space, through time, into the future. Okay, you can see down below you the timelines merging, things shifting, time passing, events happening. And I want you to stop right above the manifestation of the new experience, of the new results. You are now looking down at it from above. And I want you to take a breath here as you observe what's happening. And as you exhale, you begin to sink gently, carefully, softly into this manifestation. And you lock into this manifestation and you look around and you begin to notice where you are, how it feels, knowing that this thing that you have been accepting for so long has shifted and changed. There's a new result in its place. The desire, the dream that you have been calling in from the quantum field is now your reality. I want you to take a look around and really, truly allow yourself to feel this experience. How good does it feel knowing that you created this reality? That the but that once held you back, that once felt limiting or heavy or lonely or empty is no more. And this is your reality now. Take a deep breath here. How good does it feel? You did it. It is here now. This is your reality. And I want you to explore, walk around, notice where you are, who's with you, how do you move? Take a breath. This feeling, this gratitude for this understanding. As you look around, you're gathering information. Take another breath here. And as you exhale, you notice this screen drop down in front of you. Okay, it's like a projector screen. Wherever you are, this screen is floating in front of you. And I want you to watch this screen because something interesting is about to happen. You're looking at the screen and you see almost this movie that's playing on the screen, but you notice that it's you in the movie. As you continue to watch, you notice that this is your next reality. This is what is happening next. As you watch this movie unfold, you are excited. You are astonished. You are surprised. What do you see on the screen? Take a breath here. What do you see on the screen? Where are you in that movie? Where are you in that movie? How do you move? How do you hold yourself? How do you dance? How do you feel? And how do you feel as you watch this scene unfold on this movie screen? Take another deep breath here. And exhale. Letting this all sink in. This is your reality. This is what's on your timeline. This is what's coming next. This is available to you and is inevitably yours. Take another breath as you watch this movie screen. As you feel this gratitude, overwhelming gratitude circulating your being. And then on your next breath, as you exhale, you close your eyes and you put one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly. And you gently, softly, carefully float up, all the way back up until the space where you're floating right above this manifestation. And you can see the movie screen. You take a breath and exhale, noticing how you're feeling, knowing that this is on your timeline. This is your manifestation. This is your reality. This is your truth. You see the screen, you take one more look at the screen from above. This is what's next. This is what's available to me. And you take another breath. And as you exhale, you slowly float back through space, through time. You see the events passing by, the timelines shifting and lining up to direct you towards that reality. And you stop right above your now and you look down at yourself, at your body of right now, where you left it, exactly where you left it, looking all peaceful. And you take another inhale and exhale. You drop back down, 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 down into your body of now. I want you to take another breath here and wiggle your fingers and your toes, arriving back in the space, the back in your now, right here and now. Noticing how you're feeling. Noticing how you're feeling now that you know what's coming, now that you know what's available to you. And when you're ready, you can open your eyes, look side to side, look around the room, just letting yourself come back to this physical reality right now. Take one more breath here. And exhale. Okay, I want you to grab your notebook and I want you to write down anything that you received, anything that you noticed, any information, anything you want to remember. Okay, and I want to say a couple things here before we close out a conversation for today. Our mind is extremely limited. And so if you've been telling yourself that you're already living your dream life, but there's still a but or two or five, you're not living your dream life. All right. And I want you to realize this because your mind will play tricks on you and it will limit you and even in your visualizations. Even in your visualizations, it will not let you fully perceive anything else to be possible, or it will greatly limit these visualizations and these desires and these dreams. Okay, think about that for a second. So if you have been accepting your reality as good as it gets and limiting yourself and your dreams, I want you to, first of all, become aware of this. And then I want you to give yourself permission to actually dream. I'm living my dream life and I'm open to so much more. Is there a but? Is there, I'm living my dream life, but then there's this. That's not really ideal. Because from what you just said, I'm living my dream life and I'm open to so much more. This is you avoiding. And I say this with love, obviously. We're here to grow together. This is you avoiding making a decision. Because I'm open to so much more is great. It's great to be open to so much more, but it's up to you to decide. Okay. I lived my life for a lot of my life, mainly through my 20s, where it was like, I am open and ready to receive. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm flying by the seat of my pants. It feels good. And I'm off in la la land, not saying that's what you're doing, but that's what I was doing. And I didn't know where I was going. It was like I was floating around. Yeah. So I want you to think, I mean, it's hard for me to not say because I know, because I work with you privately as well. But I want you to check the boxes. Health. Okay, you're reading the book that I'm reading right now, The Code of the Extraordinary Mind by Vision. I want you to check the boxes. Where are you with your health? Where are you with your time? Where your relationship with time, your freedom, your money, your love, your relationship. Those are like some of the key factors that I would kind of like vet myself on. And if they're not all 10 out of 10, then there's a but. And how do we change it? We decide. Okay. So thank you for that input. So we get to change it. We get to decide. But the point of me bringing up that conversation after the visualization was that we limit ourselves. We hold ourselves back. We dim our own light. Sometimes it's very unintentional because it is information we've picked up along the way. All right. So the point of that visualization and why I love to travel through time in our imagination like this is because this reality exists. That reality that you saw, that movie playing on that screen that you were witnessing is a potentiality. That is a potential outcome for you. And it's available to you. And so it's going to get brighter and bigger and bolder and more clear the more you practice this, the more you can show your mind and again become aware of your mind's tendencies, the old programs, the old ideas, and you can actually consciously like let them go and release them. We're going to do that tomorrow. The clearer this vision will get. And remember that we don't manifest what we want. Okay, the quantum field is not responding to our wants and needs and desires, even really. It's responding to our cohesiveness. It's responding to our ability to be clear on our desires. Interesting, right? All right. So, a little bit of integration here. If you have questions, feel free to put them in the chat. Um, there is the workbook that's going to be on the replay page. Okay, I want you to take a moment after we close out this conversation today, and I want you to just sit and just breathe and just notice how you're feeling. Notice the frequency that you're tuned into, because that is where you attract from. That is where you call in from. Is that frequency. So becoming supercharged requires a clean frequency. All right, we need to be clear, decided, trust and faith in ourselves and something bigger than us, right? And we know with unwavering certainty, this is what I want or better. I am here to live my dream life. All areas of my life get to be insanely amazing. We don't need to compromise anymore. We've been taught we must compromise. We do not need to fucking compromise. All right. We can have it all. We can have it all. And if we don't have it all, we are the only ones that can change our results. And this is the work we're doing here. This is how we change our results. All right. So now from the information you've gathered from the visualization, you noticed how you moved. You notice how you felt in that visualization as well as on the movie screen. But I want you to now ask yourself, what would she do? Okay. This is the integration. This is how we actually make a change in our lives, in our businesses. What would she do? How would she move right now? What action would she take? Because that's what's going to make the difference. And I know that you're not here just to tune in and listen to this. You're here to actually make a change and become supercharged. All right. So go have a beautiful day. Drink tons of water. And I will see you tomorrow for part 2. Feel free to invite any friends that want to come along for the journey. Feel free to message me on Instagram if you have any questions. And I'm so excited to see you for part 2 tomorrow. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. Remember that the quantum field is not separate from you. You are the field. You are the field. Okay. Thank you so much for being here. And I will see you tomorrow. Go have a beautiful rest of your day. Bye.